morning, everybody. I'm Sheila, yoga teacher at the Red Wing YMCA. If you were here just a second ago, little technical difficulty, those things happen. So we are going to get started for a May Day gentle chair yoga. So grab your chair, grab your mat, and come on over. All right. I think I did that in the first introduction. Hi, Kathy. There we go. Did that in the first introduction. If you want to use your chair and your mat, awesome, because I'll cue for both, and then it gives you that option. So go ahead and set up, and we will get started. I feel so far away from you right now. I mean physically. Well, actually, I guess physically we are, right? All right, well, again, thanks for joining me on May Day Yoga, and feel free either to take a comfortable seated position on your mat or on your chair. And as we do this practice, I will move between both just to demonstrate. So choose yours, and then it's just going to be a gentle flow, and so you can go between the chair and the floor, okay? So if you're on the floor, find your version of a comfortable seat, either legs long in front of you, on a block, or seated. If you were on the chair, let's make sure to kind of scoot towards the front of the chair, find those sit bones, and no matter which position we are in, we're going to find this really nice long spine, right? And that's where we're going to begin our practice. So just as you find that nice long spine, go ahead and begin to get our joints moving, lubricated, get those shoulders moving by bringing them up to the ears and down and back. Okay, so we're just gonna get those shoulders rolling, whichever position you're in, all right? All right, and our theme for today, being May Day, is finding joy in the smallest of things. And what made me think of it was May Day, because I don't know if any of you remember, but when I was a kid, you can reverse your shoulder rolls, by the way. When I was a kid, I remember those little teeny, they were green baskets that strawberries or raspberries would come in. They were green plastic, just little, like this. Okay, now go ahead and let those shoulders come to rest. And my mom would have us make May Day baskets out of those. We'd weave a little ribbon in, and then we'd fill them with little treats and take them around and drop them on neighbors' doorsteps, knock on the door, and then run away. Such a great memory, right? So those finding joy in the tiniest things. So that's our theme for today. All right, now as we just continue that warm-up, let's just take a moment to drop your chin to your chest. Keep that nice long spine in whichever position you're seated. And now let's inhale center. And let's let that right ear float to that right shoulder. And if you would like to add some weight just by lifting that hand on top of the head, we're not really pressing, we're just adding the weight. Go ahead, and if you want to bring that hand out to the other side, the arms at a little bit of an angle. Wiggle those fingers. Maybe bring those fingertips up. Awesome. Now let's release that. Go to the other side. Let the right ear float to the right shoulder. Again, you can place that hand if you wish. Let those fingertips float out if you wish. All right, now let's take a big breath, sweep those arms around, lengthen that spine, bring those hands through heart center. And one more time, deep inhale. And now let's just have our hands float down to the side. Take a moment to come home to your breath, find your rhythm. Maybe you want to do our one-to-one breathing, which we do quite a bit, where you take a deep inhale, and whatever that count is, you hold for a second at the top, and then you do a nice deep inhale, deep exhale. Let that all out. So do a couple breaths. As I share a couple quotes on our theme, as you know I like to do. Tiniest of joys. Of all the things I've learned so far, the most valuable lesson has been to be thankful for even the tiniest of joys. Because in the depths of despair, they can carry your spirit through. By Stacey Martin. I think a great quote for right now, where sometimes it feels a little bit like we're on a roller coaster, because there is joy and there is despair, and so sometimes it's looking for joy in the teeniest of things. And the partner quote with that is from Henry Miller. The moment one gives close attention to anything, even a blade of grass, it becomes a mysterious, awesome, indescribably magnificent world in itself. Becomes a mysterious, awesome, indescribably magnificent world in itself. The tiniest of joys. So that's our theme for today. On this May Day, maybe you have memories of May baskets, maybe you don't. All right, now let's continue our warm-up with a little bit of a lateral stretch. So if you're on your chair, you're planting your hand on your knee. If you're on the floor, you're planting it on the floor. So go ahead and plant that right hand down. Inhale that left arm up. We're just going to give a little lateral stretch. Just a little one because we're opening up. Now let's come back center. Let that hand come down, other hand comes over. Awesome, now one more on each side. Inhale that arm up, let it float over. We'll do a few of these in our sun salutation or half sun salutations coming in a little bit. And one more on each side, just very gentle. All right, now let's come back to center. Let's warm up with a gentle spinal twist. Again, same action if you're on the chair or you're on the floor. So just inhale those arms out to the side, and on the exhale, we'll do that gentle twist. You can start moving either right or left. It's up to you. When you get to your twist position, either leave your arms up or let them come down, one arm and back, one arm to that front knee. Again, whichever place we're sitting, we keep this long spine, really trying to find length in the spine and get all the fluids moving in the spine, as well as just kind of wringing it out like a dish rag. Now let's go ahead and bring our head back center, roll those shoulders, and let's go to the other side. Inhale those arms out, and then we are gently going to begin that twist over to the other side. And once you get there, as we always do, on a deep inhale, find length in that spine, okay? As if there's a little string pulling out of the top of your head and that spine is just being lengthened. And as you exhale, you might deepen your twist just a little bit, but we're still just warming up all 6 directions of that spine so we don't go too deep. All right. Now, from here, we are going to move into seated cat and cow. So seated on the mat, seated on the chair, either way. To start with our cow, we're going to drop our belly, lift our gaze, really open up that chest, that neck that's comfortable for your chin. And on the exhale, let's pull that belly button to the spine, tuck that tail, tuck that chin, and really round that spine. Inhale into your cow. Exhale into your cat. Inhale into your cow. Exhale, cat. And one more cycle. Inhaling into the cow, and maybe we'll hold here. And now exhale. Round that spine, tuck that belly button to the spine. Get a deep stretch. Awesome, let's come back center. Let's go ahead and just choose either arm. Gently place it across your chest, shoulders come down. Okay, just for a gentle stretch. Let's go to the other direction. All right, from here we are going to move into some spinal balance. So two choices. One, of course, is on your knees, and we'll do our traditional spinal balance for a floor pose. The other one is to come to your chair. All right, I'm going to turn my chair this way for a little bit. Okay, so either way, we are going to lift the opposite arm and the opposite leg. Actually, I'm going to turn my chair the other way. The chairs we have at the Y are awesome because they cut straight down the back and those arms are just never in your way. All right, so let's go ahead, whichever position you're in, make sure that your shoulders are over your wrist, and we're going to inhale one arm out long, your right or left arm, and then lift that opposite leg. Now, you may lift that leg a little bit, you may just have that toe touching, you may lift it quite a bit, it's all good. Now release that down, spinal balance, we're moving to the other side. I'm learning the disadvantage of using a chair that folds up, right? Hopefully we won't have any accidents. Keep this lifted leg active, whichever spinal balance you're in. Release that down, other side. Arm is active, leg is active, foot is flexed, belly is pulled in, we have that nice long spine. Awesome, everybody. And let's do one more on each side. Now the advantage of always having a chair in any yoga class is if your knees, let's come to rest for a second. If you've had anything with your knees where you don't want to be on them or it's not advisable for you to be on them, the chair lets you change up each pose in a way that lets you access the pose a lot while still staying safe. All right, from our tabletop position, we are going to start to move back into a down dog. So our choices are, if we're on the chair, we're going to start walking our feet back until we find that nice length in our spine in that down dog. On the floor, we're going to walk our hands forward, about one hand length, and come into our version of that down dog. All right, whichever one we choose is awesome. Now, either way, maybe you're going to come up on all your toes and pedal, one heel down, the other heel. Okay, and when you are ready, so if you're in this down dog, same thing. When you are ready, go ahead and find stillness. Take some nice deep breaths. And then from here, we are going to slowly walk our feet forward to find that first forward fold. All right, so if we're in traditional down dog, we know that we're just walking right up. If we're in down dog, chair down dog, same thing, we're walking right up till we find that first forward fold. All right. If it is the first forward fold for you of the day, make sure you put a good bend in those knees so you can really let those hamstrings start to release, that lower back start to release. Now go ahead and shake your head yes, shake your head no, shake your head yes again, right? We always come back to yes. Now from here, let's walk our hands up our shins to find that half lift. And on a chair, you can also do half lift with your elbows on the chair, your forearms on the chair. All right, now let's release down into that forward fold one more time. Now let's come up into that halfway lift one more time. And if you would like, go ahead and add those airplane arms, and you can even palms up to the sky, then flip your hands, work those shoulders a little bit, pull that belly in, and let's release that down. Now let's slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Let those hands hang long. shoulders roll down and back. And now we all meet in standing. All right, let's get ready to move into some half sun salutations. So find that firm foundation. Take just a moment here. Go ahead and release those palms down. Open your hands out as if you're going to offer somebody something. Think about those toes for a minute and feel if all of those toes are grounded into the floor. Right? We build everything from our foundation, and typically the foundation is our feet. So we want a firm foundation. All right, let's go ahead and move through some half sun salutations. So you can stand as you would on a mat, or stand on one side or the other of the chair, so you can always place a hand on that chair, especially if you have any issues with balance or dizziness. All right. So let's bend those knees, sweep those arms up high, full body stretch right here. And let's just gently float down into that forward fold. Now take a nice inhale and an exhale, and an inhale, exhale. Now let's come up to that half lift. Really pull those shoulders away from the ears. Go ahead and add airplane arms if you wish. Exhale into your forward fold. Now this one we're just going to roll up again like we did to start. Let those shoulders come down and back. And then we'll move into more of a one breath per movement. Sun salutation. So let's bend those knees. Sweep those arms up. Long spine. Exhale. Hinge at the hips. Swan dive, forward fold. Inhale to your half lift. Your preference on your arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees. Circle sweep those arms up. Find that length in your body. Pull that belly in and just go into a little baby back bend. Now bring yourself center. Release your hands through heart center. And let's come into Utkatasana, that powerful chair pose. All right? And when you have the benefit of having a physical chair by you, it always gives you the option of putting one hand on the chair. Right now we are just doing our first chair in prayer position, or heart center. Right? All right, now let's bend those knees, sweep those arms down, around, and up. Find that length in your spine. Let's exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees, sweep those arms up high, and on the exhale, let's open up into those cactus arms, really opening that chest, opening that heart. Awesome, maybe light your fingers up, right? Get some movement in there. Now let's bring our hands through to heart center and come into our powerful chair, Utkatasana. All right, twinkle those toes a little bit, make sure they're nice and light. All right, our knees are bent. We can see our big toes. Upper body is long, lower body is strong. You know I always say that. All right, we'll be here just for 3, 2, 1. Let's bend those knees. Sweep those arms up high. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees, sweep those arms up high, and on an exhale, let's let that right arm float down for a lateral bend as our left arm goes over. Inhale, center. Exhale, opposite direction. Inhale, center. Exhale, opposite direction. It's okay to let those hips bump out a little bit when you come up. Inhale, center. Exhale, opposite direction. Inhale, center. Last one. Exhale, opposite. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands to heart center. Utkatasana. All right, maybe you're bouncing on those heels a little bit. Maybe you're going a little lower with your chair. It's up to you. Okay, hands on hips is also another option for chair pose, depending on how your shoulders feel. all right, or heart center. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to dive down into that forward fold. Inhale to your half lift, pull that belly in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend those knees, circle sweep those arms up. And on an exhale, we are going to do a gentle twist. Okay? So one arm forward, one arm back. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Work to keep your hips forward, all right? To protect our knees, we've got our belly pulled in, hips are forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. And now this time we're going to come into Utkatasana, our chair. We're going to continue that twisting a little bit. So our hands are coming straight up from our shoulders. And let's just go ahead and open to one side. You can choose your side. Come back to center. Inhale as we open. Exhale as we close. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. Last one. Opening up, come center. Bring those hands to heart center. And let's dive down into that forward fold. Now we're going to stay here for just a moment and go ahead and roll those wrists out in either direction. Just reverse it after a little bit. Now on your next exhale, prepare, and then we are going to walk up to that half lift, lifting those arms behind us. Awesome. Let's release down into that forward fold one more time. And now let's bend our knees, but let's just let our arms hang heavy this time. Roll those shoulders down and back. Fantastic. All right. Now let's go ahead and let's move into just a little bit of our warrior ones, our warrior twos. All right. So we're going to start with warrior one. Right foot is forward. Okay. Left foot is back. Again, if you do it in the opposite direction, it's all right, right? We always do both sides. Now, this is also a great opportunity to do the exact same thing right next to the chair, right? So you've always got that chair available if you want to have any assistance stabilizing with balance. All right, so we're in this nice strong warrior one pose. Our hips are squared forward. Let's go ahead and bring those hands up. Let those shoulders come down and back. All right, take a good breath there. Peek down to see if you can see that front big toe. Make sure that knee isn't caving in. It's right over the ankle. All right, now let's roll our wrists down as we bring them to clasp, our fingers to clasp behind our back. Roll those shoulders down and back, straighten those arms, and we'll move into our humble warrior. All right, so again, humble warrior, hands can be clasped behind your back, or you can put one hand on the chair. All right, from here, we are going to hinge at the hips and just fold forward. Now you may keep your hands clasped. You may even let them come further over, or just bring your hands to your hips, all right? Whatever you prefer. Now from here, release those hands, and if you haven't, go ahead and put them on your hips. Push into the feet as if you're splitting the mat apart. Come back into that warrior one. Let's lift up that back heel. Okay, bounce on that just a little bit. And we are going to pop off of that gently to come into our chair. Utkatasana. All right, pull that belly in. Send those hips back. Awesome. Let's bring those hands to heart center. Dive down into that forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend those knees, circle, sweep those arms up. Bring them through to heart center, preparing for warrior one on the other side. So this time our left foot is going to be forward, right foot is going to be back. All right, again, if you did it the opposite way, no worries. Feel free to do this right next to the chair. Okay? Keep one hand on that chair. All right. Make sure that knee is tracking over that ankle. Find your strong warrior one. Square those hips. Take your hands to your hips. Just square them forward. When you're ready, inhale those arms up high. Let those shoulders come down. And breathe. All right, from here again, we're going to roll our wrists as we kind of flutter our hands down to meet behind our back. Roll those shoulders down and back. Open that heart. Preparing for humble warrior on this side. So you can keep your hands clasped as we hinge at the hips and fold forward. Or you can put your hands on your hips, all right? So when you are ready, begin hinging at the hips, folding forward towards that front knee. Now, go ahead and release your hands to your hips. Push into your feet. Root down, rise up. Let's come off of that back heel and power up into that Utkatasana, that chair pose. Lots of chair poses today. Which is kind of ironic since it's a time we've probably been sitting more. But this chair never feels like that, does it? All right, from here, let's bring those hands to heart center. Let's rain down, just kind of let our hands rain down into that forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend those knees, circle, sweep those arms up. Bring your hands to heart center. Let's go ahead and move into a little warrior two action, okay? All right, so go ahead and I'm gonna mirror you because in this version we're opposite. So your right foot is forward, left foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. Now, again, the other advantage of having the chair is you can do your warriors and position yourself so you are right by the chair so you get that little extra support. So let's just go ahead and move into that warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. All right, let's open those arms, twinkle those fingers, check that heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Now let's flip that front palm and just gently bring that arm over to reverse that warrior. Now let's come on back to that warrior two. Let's reach forward for that extended side angle, letting that forearm come down to that thigh, back arm comes up, and either all the way up, all the way over, or in that bind. Whichever you prefer, whichever feels better for your shoulder today. Now pull that belly in. Let's come back out to that warrior two. Now let's straighten that front leg to reverse our triangle. And come back to warrior two. Now we're going to move through a sequence where we reach forward, flip that palm, and as we come up, we straighten that front leg, we come into this peaceful, kind of a reverse triangle, but our arms come over a lot more. So just reach, flip that palm, straighten that front leg, open that top arm as much as is comfortable, and come back to that warrior two. Now let's let those arms come down, let those shoulders roll. Let's bring our feet to face center, okay? And go ahead right now, bring your heels in and your toes out. When you're ready, inhale your arms up. We found our star pose, our five-pointed star. All right, and now let's begin to put a little bend into goddess or horse. And now let's inhale into star, exhale horse. Or goddess. Inhale star, exhale goddess. Inhale, star, open up that heart. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Let's roll those wrists one more time, bringing them all the way down. Roll the shoulders, and we are going to do warrior two in the opposite direction. Okay, so this time your left foot is forward. So just go ahead and turn those toes. Move to either side of the chair if you prefer. Okay, check that alignment. And when you're ready, go ahead and add those warrior arms. Roll those shoulders down and back. And let's flip that palm and reverse that warrior, really breathing into that side body. Now let's come back to warrior two. Let's reach forward for extended side angle, letting that front arm come to the front thigh. Back arm comes up or over or in a bind. Our heart is open, okay? Chest is open towards the ceiling. Now let's push into that mat like we're splitting it apart. Come back up, that warrior two. We'll move through that sequence where we reach forward, flip that palm, and as we come up, we straighten that leg. It's the throwing the glitter pose. Where you reach forward, and you throw the glitter. Maybe because it's May Day, we should be scattering seeds, right? We should be taking seeds, and as we come up, we scatter them about. One more, reach forward, flip that palm, straighten that front leg, and let's come on back to that warrior two. Let's straighten that front leg, just reverse that triangle, really opening up that side body, and come back to warrior two. Now let's let those arms come down, hands come to our hips, toes come forward, and this time let's bring our feet parallel just for a brief wide angle forward fold. Okay, so we can wide angle forward fold right here. We can wide angle forward fold towards the chair. All right, so whatever's more comfortable for you. So whichever you're in, feet are parallel. Let's go ahead and bring our hands out in front of us. Bring them behind us like we do in our warrior pose. Roll those shoulders down and back, open that heart. And we are going to begin to hinge at the hips and forward fold. Now, just like in warrior one, you can bring your clasped hands over with you. This time you can bring your hands to the seat of the chair, or you can bring your hands to the floor, okay? Whichever is more comfortable. And when you get down there, go ahead and shake your head yes, shake your head no, and come back to yes. All right, now we're going to put a bend in our knees and slowly walk up. So go ahead and walk your hands up your thighs, bring your hands to the chair. Either way, we're going to just roll up and back. Awesome, so we're in this pose. Now from here, let's intentionally really heel toe those feet together, activating those feet, the toes, all right? And we are just going to move into one balance pose. So normally on Fridays at the Y, I have an 8 o'clock chair yoga class, huge class. We do lots of balancing poses. Usually lots of them. And then I do a 10:15 class and we do balancing as well. So we'll just do a couple this morning, all right? We're going to do tree pose. Again, nice benefit of the chair is you have it there if you want it, all right? So we are going to start on our right foot. That is going to be our standing leg. That is the leg ground in, right? And then we're just going to carefully open that hip, all right? Toe can be on the ground. Hand can be on the chair. Hand can be on your hips. Hand can be heart-centered. If you want to grow the roots a little bit more, right? So you want to bring that foot up to your calf. That's great as well. One hand can stay on the chair. The other hand can be your branches. Growing, right? May, everything's starting to green up. You can add the other hand if you want. All right, just for 3, 2, 1. Let's close off that knee. Release that down. Now we're going to come to the other side of the chair. If you had a chair, if not, no worries. All right. Ground in that foot closest to the chair. Nice, strong leg. We've got our abs pulled in so the trunk of our tree, so to speak, is nice and strong. When you're ready, go ahead and kickstand that hip open. Okay. Big toe can be on the ground. You know, in our chair yoga class too, we've also cued the block. It can be on the block. All right, or you can lift it up to the calf. We can lift it any place but that knee joint, right? We never want that foot pressing into the knee joint. All right, from here when you're ready, go ahead and grow one of your branches or both branches. All right, you can also bring your hands center if you wish. All right, keeping that strong foundation, finding that drishti. Maybe you're using a mudra. Just for 3, 2, 1, let's close off that hip and bring that down, shake that out a little bit. All right, and in our Friday chair yoga class, we almost always do eagles, particularly on Fridays, because Wednesdays are Warrior Wednesdays, so Friday we do eagle a lot. So same thing, we're going to do that. We're going to start on our right foot, okay? Now, inhale those arms out to the side, and on the exhale, you're going to bring your left arm under your right arm, either wrapping them up, okay, or in a V, or on your shoulders in a gentle hug. Any of those positions are awesome. Okay. Now from here, I realized I think I stood on the wrong side of the chair. Works out great for tree, but not for eagle. All right. The leg closest to the chair is the leg you're going to lift up and over. So I think I may have steered you wrong on that. So when you're ready, go ahead. Arms can be clasped in any of those options, right? And when you're ready, you're going to go ahead and lift that foot up and over, bringing it down to rest. Now, you can also put one hand on the chair at the time. Maybe you really want to focus on eagle legs, you know, so you've got that bend in your legs, you've got that other foot off the ground. It's a great time. Cross one arm, put the other arm on the chair, just use it for a little bit of balance, and then as you feel a little stronger, a little more focused, maybe you lift that up a little bit. All right, just for 3, 2, 1. Let's release that eagle. Find that long spine. Bring those hands through heart center and just shake that out a little bit. Now we go to the other side. Okay? Yeah, sometimes that happens, right? You get it wrong. So inhale those arms out to the side. This time, our right leg is our standing leg. No, our left leg is our standing leg. Sorry, I think I cued you on the right leg. I'm trying to mirror you today, and that always throws me off just a little bit. All right, let's go ahead, and this time we're going to bring that right arm under that left arm and twizzle them up, lifting those elbows, or we're going to put hands at shoulders, or we're going to put one hand on the chair, one hand on the shoulder. Now we're going to put a little bend in those knees, almost as if we have chair pose legs, but we're going to bring that right leg up and over. So we're crossing it over. Now we can bring it down to that big toe. So that big toe is solid in the ground, or we can lift it up. We can experiment with lifting our hands off of that chair. We have a little bend in that knee. We're squeezing those legs together. Okay. So you can go back between the chair, maybe lifting an arm, or just keep one arm there. Twizzle your arms up, whichever you prefer. And now let's release that eagle. Now let's go to a full body stretch, wiggling those fingers at the top, and let's release into that forward fold. Awesome. Now let's roll to that halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Let's bend those knees. Circle sweep those arms up. Being mindful of the chair. I've hit that a few times. And bring our hands through to heart center. All right, time for our cool down. So two options. One is to come to the chair for seated. The other is to come to the ground in your traditional Shavasana pose, okay? So if you're seated, again, you find that nice long spine. If you're on the ground, you have that nice flat spine, long spine, body is long. Whichever position you're in, go ahead and bring that right knee up towards your chest, okay? Roll out that ankle one direction and then the other, all right? Now, when you are seated in the chair, you can have this, the non-rolling foot, you can bend that knee, or you can keep that foot straight out, right? Either way. All right, let's go ahead and point and flex that foot. And as we point, really activating through that calf muscle, if you are in the chair and you feel your back starting to round, go ahead and really bring those shoulders down and back, straighten that back for that long spine. All right, now go ahead, everybody, and squeeze your toes together as tightly as can be. And now let's release them, okay? Gently find a little space between each toe. Again, squeeze them together. Trying to isolate those muscles in the toes. And now let's find space between those toes. Fantastic, let's release that down. Go ahead and grab the opposite leg, whichever leg you didn't grab, and begin rolling out those ankles, that ankle. Okay? Begin to point and flex that foot. And as we talk about, whenever we point, we really activate through that calf. All right, now go ahead and squeeze those toes together. As I always say, squinch them up as tightly as can be. And now release them. And maybe you can't see your toes. Kind of hard to see depending on the position you're in, but just visualize space between each toe, especially between that third, fourth, and fifth, right? That's harder to get those smaller toes to separate. Again, squeeze them tightly one more time, put all the tension in there, and then release that. And find length. All right, so if we are on the floor, we're gonna move into pigeon in both positions, okay? So if we are on the floor, go ahead and bend your knees as if you were going into the bridge position. And if you're seated, you're going to sit nice and long with your feet flat on the floor. Either way, we are going to go ahead and bring that right leg up and over, crossing into the figure four, all right? All right. Now, if we are on a chair, we're going to stay here. We might gently push that knee away from us, but we're going to push below the knee, not on the knee when we push. Right? And then if we want to deepen the stretch, we are going to hinge at the hips and fold forward into a forward fold over our figure four legs. If we're on the floor in supine pigeon, we're doing the same thing. We're pushing that away, but instead of that figure four, we're going to thread the needle, going ahead and reaching our hands through, grabbing that leg and pulling it towards us. All right, feet are flexed to keep our legs active, protect our knees. So you're either in the forward fold in this, you're seated in the seated forward fold in the number four shape. There you go, right? All right, now we are going to release that down and switch to the other side. So if you're on the floor, same thing. You're going to bring the opposite leg up into that figure four position. Maybe you push that knee area away a little bit, but again, pushing below the knee to release that hip flexor before you reach through and thread the needle. If you are in the chair, we're in that figure four position. Nice long spine, okay? we either stay here, or if we wish, we hinge at the hips and fold forward into that figure four. So we're in that seated pigeon with a forward fold. Awesome. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. All right, now let's slowly roll up. And you are going to come to seated if you were in the chair. If you are in that traditional bridge position, you are going to come to seated as well. Maybe you pull your knees to your chest and do a little bit of rocking and rolling until you come up to that seated position. Okay. Awesome. And just like we did a little bit in the warm-up, let's go ahead, find a long spine in whichever position we're in, and let's drop that chin to the chest. And inhale, center. Let's choose either side and let one ear float towards that shoulder. And on your next inhale, let's bring our head center, and on the exhale, let's let that ear float to the other shoulder. Just release. Now on your next inhale, let's come through center and turn your chin towards, again, either shoulder. You can go in either direction, your right or left. So we're looking out over that shoulder. Keep this long spine. Now let's come through center. Look out over the other shoulder. Awesome, let's come through center. All right, now let's inhale those arms up really high. And go ahead and grab your right hand with your left arm. We're just going to pull that over for a little lateral stretch. Come on through center, switch hands, a little lateral stretch. Maybe you feel more open than when we started. Let's roll those wrists as we bring them down. All right, roll those shoulders. Now let's inhale those hands center and flip the wrists as we bring them down. Again, inhale, center, flip the wrists, bring them down. Inhale, center, flip the wrist. Stop about halfway, choose either side. And we're going to go through those 3 gentle hand-wrist stretches. Option for you. If you prefer not to do them, no worries, right? One is we go ahead and just gently pull those fingers back towards our face. Then we point those fingers towards the ground and just gently push on the front of our hand. Again, these 3 can be done in any order, or you can just do one of them or any of them, depending on what helps your wrists and hands release. The last is we open that palm, like we're giving somebody something. Fingers are towards the ground, all right? A little stretch. All right, roll that wrist. Let's go to the other side. Fingers towards the sky. We just gently pull back. These are great stretches to do anytime, especially if you've been writing a lot or on the computer a lot or gardening. Oof. Go ahead and put those fingers towards the ground. Just a nice release. And that third position, we open that palm, pull those fingers down. All right, let's release that, roll those shoulders. Inhale those arms up high, find that long spine, maybe gaze up at those hands, bring them through heart center. Thank you for coming out to practice on May Day, celebrating the joys in the littlest things. I hope you find those joys in the things that surround you, the blade of grass, the flowers that are just starting to poke up, right? I always think of, we have 2 folks front and center in our chair yoga class that are from Sargent's, and Bob always talks to me about the excitement in the spring when the first plant flowers and everybody goes to look at it, and I think has such a beautiful memory. So I hope you find joys just like they do when you see that first blossom. The light in me honors, appreciates, and is lifted by the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong, and we will see you soon.